Was good, gamers? My name is the gamer, the ultimate gamer guy, and today we are going to be going over the anime season, the summer 2024 season. I'm surprised I've been able to talk this enthusiastically. I've been stuck with a cold for like a fucking week and a half, almost 2 weeks at this point. If I need to take a bathroom break because I'm drinking a shitload of water, that is the reason why. That's also the reason why this video has been delayed to shit, along with the fact that Plasma, our co-hosting guest, struggled with watching stuff this season due to like being in the worst country, France.
What the hell? I'm not even in France. I'm only in a country that's slightly better.
I mean, you were in France when the season started.
I was there for a week. I left as soon as possible.
Well, what? Well, when you're there for the week, then you miss the seasonals when they start.
I didn't watch anime because I had just finished life-changing exams. So yeah, that's the reason I didn't watch anime. But I made it in the end, and I watched what?
Which is so
three
very
shows?
gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, even for some of the stuff that you haven't seen, you've seen the source material, so we'll still be able to yap about it.
Is this the first time you've watched more than me?
This is probably the first time that I've seen more than you.
This was my season break.
Yeah. I didn't see too much this season, but what I did see this season was generally really good. This was a very, very good season. The best season we've had in so long, honestly. This is easily the best season we've had this year.
Mm-hmm. This year was like kind of a little bit mid.
This year's been
this year. If that's not what I said.
Yeah, like 2024. Like the winter season was alright. The spring season was alright. The winter season had like no S tiers in my opinion. Spring season was inconsistent. Some stuff were masterpieces. Some stuff were just kind of mid. This season, almost everything is really good except for a few stinkers, but for the most part, things were really good.
Yes.
Do you want me to yap first, or do you want to yap first?
You yap first, because you got more than me.
Alright. I'm actually gonna go for the first one. Plus-sized elf is the first one I want to talk about, because I only watched one episode. I fucking hated it. It's complete dog shit.
That's sad.
Yeah, because... Alright, so like me and Zonic, right? We watch the shitpost anime every season.
Yeah.
Because both of us get really morbidly curious about fucking stupid anime that look like shit, but we want to watch anyway.
Welcome to my world.
And so we picked up this one because funny fantasy series about overweightness, and then. So, a few weeks before watching it, I noticed the ecchi tag, but I didn't tell Zonic about it, because I didn't want it to ruin his experience, you know? And keep in mind, I don't mind ecchis. I mean, I gave fucking Gushing Over Magical Girls a fucking B tier. So, like, I don't mind ecchis, but with this one, there's, like, nudity in it, too, and I'm just like, this isn't for me. Because it just made me too uncomfortable for me to actually like it. And along with that, it doesn't have like good characters or a particularly interesting plot. I just hated it. I watched one episode, gave it a 2 out of 10, and was like, nope, not finishing this shit. But I just wanted to start with a negative first, because the show, yes, I watched one episode of a really bad anime this season. However, the rest of the season was good, I swear to God.
She had a rating of 5.6 on my anime list.
Yeah, it's bad. Most people tend to agree with me that it's really bad. Because, like, it's not just that the ecchi is uncomfortable, right? The show itself is just boring.
Fair.
Because, even if scenes in, like, I don't know, Gushing Over Magical Girls were to make you feel uncomfortable, at least that has a genuinely decent plot and really likable characters. But, yeah. I guess I can yap again. Which one do I want to start with? Actually, I think a natural starting point for me would be the the magical girl and the evil lieutenant used to be arch enemies. Because I made a video about this on my main channel, and the funny thing is, so I uploaded the video initially. The video bombs, gets like no views. The comments are very nice though, and the view to like ratio is amazing. So at the very least, people liked the video. So that made me happy. But then it got copyright takedown. So then I re-uploaded it, gave it a new thumbnail, and suddenly it has 4,000 views.
I mean, maybe it's the copyright thing that made it bomb. I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't get copyright claimed until like way later in though. But yeah, I'm glad that that video eventually got
yeah, it was
more viewership.
Fucking incredible video. So
yeah, thank you very much. Because it's
all good.
that is probably my favorite video that I've made ever. Honestly.
I think I'm inclined to agree, and that's not because I'm an Aiden-kun glazer. I genuinely enjoyed this video so much. Anyway.
Yeah. Like the modern Aiden-kun videos have been really fun to make. I like making like anime video essays a lot. But yeah, honestly, this show should be in B tier. That's where it should be. Objectively speaking, it's a B tier. Especially with how underwhelming the ending of the anime adaptation ended up being. However, because of the process of making that video, finding deeper meaning in it that, honest to God, probably isn't actually there, but I was still able to get out of it. It is a special soft spot in my heart, which gives it A tier for me. Like, I really, like, keep in mind, I already really love the forbidden love subgenre of like romance anime, because I just really enjoy seeing like romances get challenged like that. And then what I ended up really, and then the other element of the fact that this anime adaptation was being made 9 years after the original creator's death, made it really interesting to me. How they were adapting that work just so long after that fact, because like they can't really milk this anymore, because they don't really have that much material to go off of, but they still made the adaptation anyway because they wanted to pay a tribute to this manga, and I find that really commendable because the manga itself is really fun too. I read through all the manga, and I was able to enjoy it. If you watch the anime, I would genuinely recommend reading the manga afterward, because the manga does have a different ending than the anime does.
It's actually one of the shows that I actually really want to watch.
Yeah.
It sounds really good.
Like, from like a pure plot storytelling perspective, I'd say it's good, but nothing that special. The best qualities of it, in my opinion, are just how wholesome and cute it is, along with the fact that it is genuinely quite funny. The over-the-top reactions that the lieutenant gives are fucking hilarious, and his voice actor does such a good job at conveying that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my next one. Do you want me to yap for another one, or do you want to go for one?
I can go for one. Wait, do you want to do one that we both watched or something?
Yeah, sure.
What do you want to go with? I don't mind.
I know we both watched Pseudo Harem, so...
Yeah, why not? Where would you put this one?
It's the most B-tier anime of the season, for sure.
You know what? Fair. I really like this show. I mean, fucking the VA for Rin. She's so talented.
Sorry,
oh my! This felt like a full-on. This whole show felt like a flex.
Yeah.
It was so good, and I love the dynamic between these two characters. And I'll be completely real, I didn't expect it to go that route, because I looked at the tags right on my anime list, and I didn't seek romance. So when there was, it kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
But I was fucking happy about it. And one thing that I found quite interesting was they didn't do the classic high schoolers romance thing. Instead, we have our male character going to college and but still being able to make a story off of that's still really interesting, and even incorporate some of that college life into the show instead of it just being kind of like, oh, he's in college now, everything's still the same. I like that, but for sure the thing that makes the show is the interactions between these two, because they're fucking hilarious.
Oh, for sure. Like, here's the thing. I agree with everything you said. I genuinely agree with everything you said. My problem comes in is that I am a manga reader. I read the manga before watching it, and honest to God, the manga is a lot better than the anime adaptation, in my opinion.
That's it. I was thinking of reading it. I wasn't sure.
Like, the only reason why I think that the anime adaptation is worth it and potentially better than the manga is because the voice acting is just that good.
Yeah.
I always forget her full name.
I've got it right.
I'm going to Mal right now.
Saori Hayami.
All right.
Saori Hayami.
Yeah, Saori Hayami is a fucking phenomenal voice actress.
She's honestly my favorite VA of all time.
She's one of my favorite VAs. Because I love just how kind of charmingly awkward her voice sounds. It's so relaxing to listen to. Like, her voice acting was the reason why this adaptation was worth it for me. The only reason why I bothered with the anime, even after having read the manga already. Like, but I do think the manga is better. I'd say, actually, this comes with a catch. The second half of the anime is better than the manga, but the first half of the anime is worse than the manga, and the reason why is because of how it's formatted, right? The manga has 157 chapters. A majority of them are 4 pages long.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So the manga is built upon like very simple scenarios and comedy, which is not a bad thing. It's a huge part of its charm, you know. But that works really well in a manga where you can take a break after binging quite a lot of them, whenever you just feel like it. For an anime episode, not gonna lie, it was kind of a chore to get through the first half of the anime adaptation. Because... Yeah,
honestly, I understand what you mean. I mean, it felt, once I had finished an episode, it felt like I had watched about 6.
Exactly. Like, it was tough to watch the first half of the adaptation, because the way the manga's formatted just fundamentally does not work for an adaptation.
Yeah, I think for the first, like, 3 episodes, it was actually quite hard to get by. But I think once I became used to the characters and I started to really like the characters, that's when it became easy. But I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. But that's not to say that the series is bad. It's just because it's not suited for anime.
Mm-hmm. And I will say the second half of the manga is a lot more plot focused, you know.
Yeah.
And as a result, that works really well for the adaptation. And I remember, and the ending of the manga felt somewhat abrupt.
No spoiler.
Oh, this is the exact same ending as the anime. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. I was worried.
But but for the anime, it was really well built up too. Because that format works a lot better in an anime form than it does for a 4-page chapter. So my opinions of the adaptation became quite a bit more positive by the end, but I still ultimately feel like the manga is the better way of experiencing the story.
I'll keep that in mind. I think that justifies a B tier then.
Mm-hmm. And I do have other things to say. Like, I really love the format, right? Like AG asking for a harem, and then Ring just giving it to him. It's so obvious that she's into it.
It's really good. It's so good. I fucking loved it.
And I love the fact too that, like, it seems like such a simple premise, and it is, and the story just kind of rolls with that simple premise. It's a very simple series, which it kind of bothered me for a while, but I feel like they eventually do more with it by the end. You just had to adjust your expectations into going, oh, this is a very plot-like comedy.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, oh, I'm gonna be getting some real juicy plot here, because that's not really what the show is trying to do.
It's just meant to be like a fun comedy, really.
Yeah.
Which I think it works very well because I think the premise, it didn't feel like it was getting dragged out too much, which I think the 4-page chapters and the just 12 episode series helps it do, because what it did, instead of dragging out the same premise for 12 episodes, it had like 6 episodes of that premise, but then they started moving on to more plot stuff, and I think it did that very well, and it transitioned very well, because it didn't feel too abrupt, but the change between just pure comedy and actual plot.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately I'd say I like Pseudo Harem. It's good. Honestly, I still feel like the premise is so good that a better story could have came out of it. But I still like it a lot. It's a good story.
Yeah.
Because
I think if you're going with a 4-page chapter format, if you're just set on that, then I think they did an alright job.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 7.
I give it a 7 too.
7. I'm actually, all the anime that I've watched, I'm ranking as I'm going along on my anime list because I forgot to do that.
Yeah. Like, all my B tier is... Because, like, I see B tier as the 7 out of 10 tier, right?
Yeah, because I feel like B tier is average, and then average is 5 out of 10, but with anime, you bump up to. The average is 7 out of 10.
Yeah, because, like, S tier is, I'd say, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. If there is a 9 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10 in the tier that in a season, that's when we justify bringing in the S+, but...
Yeah, we bring in the cheat skill tier for that one. We kind of have to.
Doesn't happen too often, though.
No. And I feel like everyone knows when it does happen.
And C tier...
Or not.
C tier is the 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10 tier, and D tier is the 4 to 1, because let's be real, it's very rare that we rate something as bad, you know?
Yeah. Because even I don't really rate too many... I mean, I do rate isekai like D tier, but like, allow me, cuz.
Yeah, I mean, you still watch them, so...
Yeah. I get through them.
Yeah, and then, next, I'll go for one next.
Yes.
So, the anime that I was most hyped for this season was Suicide Squad Isekai.
I forgot about this! Oh
Yeah.
my days! Okay.
I was extraordinarily hyped for it, for various reasons. First up, one of my in-person friends, I was about to say IRL friend and realized that it genuinely sounds sad when I say that out loud.
Cringe. Imagine having friends outside of online.
So one of my non-Discord friends in the flesh and blood, a dude who I've been friends with since elementary school. He's really into like superheroes, right? So he showed me the 2016 Suicide Squad movie. It's one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen. It is complete fucking horseshit. It's so fucking dog shit. I hate that movie so much.
Don't die, we need to finish the video.
Yeah, but then immediately after, in the same sitting, he showed me James Gunn's 2021 Suicide Squad movie, and I loved it. It was so fun. The movie did have some deeper aspects to it, but for the most part, it's just a fun-ass movie, right? And that's what made it fun. The fact that it was fun. And then after that, a week later, he started showing me the Peacemaker spin-off series, which is also technically a sequel to the Suicide Squad. And I loved it. It was super good. The jokes were really fucking funny. It's a surprisingly funny series. And John Cena is my childhood hero, right? Because I'm a wrestling fan. I grew up with John Cena.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. I like John Cena.
And he's a phenomenal actor. Like, he's really fucking good at acting.
Yeah, he's actually pretty decent.
His performance as Peacemaker was amazing. Like, he was able to perform like the role of like the big dumb killer guy really well comedically, but he also was able to hold his own in emotional scenes. He had a part where he was crying that was really well acted. And it was also just able to act as like a really interesting character study for Peacemaker, and just how being a villain sort of affected his life and the childhood circumstances that caused him to be a villain to begin with. It's a really good show. So I'm like, oh, if James Gunn can make Suicide Squad work, then surely Wit Studio and the creator of ReZero can make Suicide Squad work, right?
Yes.
Because Wit Studio, amazing studio. Wit Studio's great. Their shit looks amazing. And then ReZero is one of my favorite anime of all time. It's fucking phenomenal. I love ReZero. So when I heard that both of those people will be going together in order to make a Suicide Squad series, I was fucking hyped. And then furthermore, the ending theme is sung by Mori Calliope, the first VTuber to be in an anime. And like, Go Getters is a fucking Boehner song too, so.
It is.
Like, I didn't initially like it at first, but it grew on me a lot over time.
Same, you know. Like, when I first listened to it, it was like, it's alright. Like, but like, to have the first VTuber anime ending as that, it was like, eh. But like, now I actually quite like it.
I feel like people, the expectations for it were really, really high because of the context surrounding it. But yeah, it's a great song. So I hate to say it, it was mid. It was fucking mid. It was fucking mid. I was so disappointed. This is the single biggest disappointment of the entire season for me. Not every day can be a good one. I'm in fucking pain even talking about the fact that this anime is mid, you know? It makes me sad to my very core. But to get into more detail, the show itself is I just don't like, where do I even fucking start? Show itself is kind of boring, honestly, to put it bluntly. And some of the the character development, there's almost none of it, honestly. The only character arc you get from a character is like the princess character who is made for the isekai setting. She's not the character that I wanted to see get developed. And typically when you do like a character arc for one of these, it's about for a Suicide Squad story, it's about how the villain turns into a good guy, because like that's the only real arc you can do. And like, to be fair, the villains they chose are tough to redeem, especially in the setting that they chose. And I will say that the characters get good one-liners. They're fun and quippy. Clayface in particular was my favorite character. I hadn't seen anything from Clayface beforehand. My friend, because I watched the show with that friend, right? He was telling me Clayface is like supposed to be like actually looking like a clay monster, but he looks like a normal human in this series. He was just constantly complaining about that, which I found fucking hilarious. Yeah, because he's like a wannabe actor, right? So he's self-absorbed and whatnot, which makes his lines easily the most fun. But at the same time, he was fun, but it's not like it's memorable. This is a very forgettable series. I'm gonna forget everything in this series in like a week. Because like the character development is minimal. The character interactions are fine. Like, I like Clayface, but I genuinely can't really tell you what his relationship with Peacemaker or Harley Quinn is. And there was like a huge reveal at the end where it's like, oh, the Joker was behind all this, and I was just like, I can't fucking be bothered to care. Like,
so people.
Especially since, like, it just doesn't even really make sense, even.
Oh, that's crazy. It's sad for this to be C tier, considering this was, like, one of the most hyped anime of the season, if not the most hyped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone lost their shit when they heard about it. But,
yeah.
Well, guess it's mid.
Mm-hmm. They fucking centered the ED around... They fucking centered the ED around Amanda Waller for some reason, even though she only appears in, like, the first episode. Don't get me wrong, the ED is fucking hilarious. But my friend was talking about how much he hates the ED because no one can take Amanda Waller seriously after that. I can't take Amanda Waller seriously after that because the dance is just too fucking goofy. When she's supposed to be a very morally ambiguous and scary character that is not portrayed well at all in the ED. Like, apparently the comics give her a lot more, well, obviously the comics give every character more justice than the adaptations do, but... Because every superhero adaptation is very different than their comic origins, right? Granted, I'm not a comic reader, so I can't really go into that. But biggest disappointment of the season. I'm so fucking sad. But I'll let you take the mic.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go with no more losing heroines. Why not?
Yo, heroin?
Yeah, man. Named after my addiction.
Yeah. Oh my god, they made an anime about the state of Washington?
You know what, yeah. I want to put this in A tier, but it's top of B tier, I think.
I feel like that's gonna be the hottest take of this video.
What? Should I rank it higher?
No. It's funnier if you don't.
I don't. Here's the thing. Nah, I lied. Put it in A tier. I can't rank it the same as Pseudo-Harem. This shit, honestly, I wasn't expecting too much. I saw the main girl, she looked pretty cute, and I was thinking, I gotta watch some stuff for this season, for this video mainly. What should I watch? Because I wanted to watch some stuff, and this looked alright. And I had seen the light novel about, I hadn't read it, but I'd seen it, I'd seen the cover and stuff like that. But the premise didn't sound too good to me. But now that when I watched it, I'm not gonna lie, I used half my data for the month to watch this shit in school because this shit was really good. Like, I really liked it. The premise is really cool. Basically, the premise, as the name says, there's a lot of losing heroines. Basically, and no drugs, losing heroines. It's basically a bunch of girls who wanted to get with a guy, but the guy kind of got with someone else, which kind of made them mad. And our main character, who used to have absolutely no friends, kind of got trapped in the middle of it all for a complete accident. One thing that I didn't expect from this series that I really liked was, well, the premise of all three of the main girls was the same, is that they tried to get with a guy, but it didn't go well. They weren't so identical to where a character felt useless, because they each had their own sort of circumstances. So the first girl is the guy gets with a girl he met like a few months before, who transferred in and stuff. And the second girl, the guy didn't realize that she liked him, and he got with a different girl. Then the third girl is way too shy, doesn't have the balls to say shit, says something. Then at that moment, the guy liked the girl, right, that didn't lose. This is kind of convoluted, but the girl You know what? It don't matter. It don't matter. It's different, okay? My brain's too fried for this. But it's convoluted, but it makes sense when you watch it. But it's really, really good. Each character has their own sort of charms, and each of them have their own kind of arc, and I think all of them are treated quite well. Obviously, the first girl has definitely got the most screen time because she's the first girl. She kind of ends up being the best friend of the main character. One thing, I'm not gonna mention episode 12 too much because that was anime only. It was kind of, they went to a theme park and some stuff happened at the end which was kind of like, I didn't really understand what was going on at the end, to be honest. But honestly, this show was really, really good. It wasn't, and I like how it wasn't just focused on the romance aspect, but it has its own stuff like festival stuff, and they're all centered around the literature club. They end up all being in the literature club, and they do stuff related to that. And yeah, I really, really, really like this show. I don't know if it's getting a season 2, but I don't care. I'm gonna read this because I am a junkie who reads light novels.
Yeah, not even I've gone that far yet.
Yeah, it's not for the weak. It's for the mentally retarded. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, isn't anime in general for the mentally retarded?
Yeah, but like, you know how like you've got the guys who are like, they're not, they've got a couple screws loose, and then you've got the guy who does crack every day on the down your street. Yeah. That's kind of like the guy's got a couple screws loose. He's your average anime fan. The guy who does crack at the end of your street and screams at random people passing by, those are the type of people who read light novels. And the people who read web novels, you don't even want to talk to them. You don't want to know.
Indeed.
Anyway.
I haven't seen the anime. It didn't cross my path when I was watching it.
Fair.
When the season came up. Because I saw the posters and was like, it looks fine. Then I saw like some footage and I went, wow, the animation actually looks really good.
I didn't even mention that. The art style and the animation, they both were really, really good. I really like both of them. Yeah. It looks very visually appealing.
And then I ended up and then I ended up reading a plot synopsis and went, I don't know if this will be for me. But now on my YouTube feed, fucking so many smaller anime channels are talking about how much heroin has made them come, which, like, good for them. I'm glad that doing drugs can be a good outlet for you to have that, but a bad joke is a bad joke, but
honestly, one thing I will say is I really like it when a light novel comes out, gets its adaptation, and people end up liking it, because that's the kind of problem. Light novels kind of have a really shit reputation because isekai, no one really wants to read an entire book, especially because they're anime fans. They don't want to bother with all that.
That's time
so they just read manga or watch anime, which, you know, fair enough. I don't blame them. I would be surprised if most anime fans could even read.
Wait, you need to read the subtitles though, right?
Do you know what's the thing here? With anime fans, they're like switched on when they watch an anime. They can read subtitles. They can read 16 subtitles at once. But like, if you give them a page with just words, no.
I'm kind of that way, unironically.
Fair enough.
I wrote a fucking novel too.
Reading is hard. But like, I like when a show gets its adaptation and people like it because it gives a little bit more, just a little bit more attention to light novels. Because you might have to search for a while, but there's some good ones out there.
Indeed, reading may be hard, but it'd be a lot easier if it were to make me hard, you know?
Yeah, fair. I mean, I know it's got a manga that is behind on the anime apparently, but that's kind of like how light novel manga adaptations
Yeah,
go.
light
They
novel
post,
manga
they,
are
they,
just not.
they post a chapter every like 6 years.
Like, Toradora was adapted from a light novel, right? Its manga hasn't
Yeah.
even fucking finished yet. 14 years since the anime is finished, by the way.
Yeah, that should give you some sense. They don't draw.
Like, so now the next one that I want to pick, I want to go for the unpredictable, for the last ones, you know. So
Yes.
we'll start with the predictable, which is me writing Oshinoko for the 10 billionth time.
Yeah.
Like, Oshinoko is one of my favorite stories ever told. And season 2 continued to deliver. Animation fucking incredible. Just, it's fucking gorgeous. It looks amazing. And then the story itself continued to be amazing as well. Because season 1 of Oshinoko is establishing everything for the most part. And that's pretty much all of season 1. The prologue is made to establish, you know, what the plot is even going to be. The second arc, I don't remember his name. The second arc, is covering like how Aqua is basic. Since there's a time skip, they have to reestablish things, right? So it's yet another arc where you're basically just showing what the plot is. And then the third arc is made to introduce more characters like Akane, along with like introduce more of like how the show is mainly going to be about like the entertainment industry with a murder plot in the background, and then the fourth arc introducing Ruby stuff. But it's not until the 2.5D stage play arc that in season 2 that we actually start to make real progress on the plot itself and the character development beyond just establishing things. And it's what makes season 2 so strong in my opinion. I actually think that season 2 is on par with season 1 in terms of quality. Because season 1 does such a good job at establishing everything. But season 2 does such a good job at taking what was established and rolling with it. Which I am very glad that that's what ended up happening, because I think I'm trying to collect my thoughts. Because, like, Aqua's character arc really gets to start in Season 2. Because in Season 1, you go, oh, look at how much of a badass he is. He's so good at doing all this, like, manipulation stuff. You see, in the Season 1, you see Aqua the same way you'd see, like, Ayano Koji, right?
Yes.
Season 2 is when you realize he is nothing like Ayano Koji.
Oh! He's a dude, that's it.
Yeah. It's like, because a character like Ayano Koji is, like, actively manipulative, right? Aqua is someone who cares a lot about the goals that he has, but he also has those goals not entirely for selfish reasons, but also not for selfish reasons at all, actually. He wants to kill Hikaru because he wants to avenge Ai, along with being able to make Ruby's life easier. And it's as a result of that very selfless revenge that he wants to take that it's very self-destructive for him. Aqua is a very mentally damaged person who, despite being a kind individual, does things that can be considered shitty as a result of the goals that he has in his place, and the ways that he thinks that the only way he can live is to be able to get that revenge. But in season 2, even though his father's still alive, he ends up creating a mental loophole for himself, you know, where he can convince himself that his father is actually dead. And when you see that happen in the next arc, you get to see Aqua as someone who is actually happy and relaxed for once, and it's genuinely nice to see because Aqua is not a bad person. And that's the thing that I feel like a lot of people misunderstand about Aqua. We haven't talked about this like for over a year, because Aqua's not a bad person. And it's the way that the story is able to explore how complex his character is in general that I think makes it so good. And then of course the private arc is amazing as well. The main purpose of it is of course being able to show off what Aqua is like when he doesn't have those vengeful tendencies, but it's also there to establish that while Aqua is sort of in a dry state for his arc, that when Ruby finds out about the fact that Goro is dead, that's when her arc gets to really start, and the private arc exists to establish the journey that Ruby is going to be going through in Season 3. It is so beautifully done. Oshinoko, as always, continues to impress. Absolute masterpiece. And I did all that too, without even getting into the animation. The animation is fucking incredible. I was flabbergasted. I was looking at these scenes and was going, you had to be such a creative individual to be able to come up with scenes like this that just couldn't, that look so far and away from what the manga did, but still captured the essence of the manga so brilliantly. It's such a gorgeous adaptation. Like, from a visual stance, it looks just as good as Season 1, if not better. Like, some of the scenes they were able to adapt, because one of my favorite scenes in the manga was the character arc that Melt went through. Melt Narushima, I think his last name is. I really loved his character arc, and I think the manga did a great job at showing it. But in the anime adaptation, they just hammed it up to the high heavens and made it the most hype shit imaginable. Of course, the fact that Tokyo Blade, the stage play they're doing, is from a battle manga too, allows the animators to go really hard. They really went the extra mile too. They adapted the full fucking stage play. The manga didn't do that, but the anime did.
Shit. God damn.
Like, it's so fucking good. They put a majority of their resources into the 2.5D arc, which I think was the right call. The private arc is only 4 episodes long. Tokyo Blade stage play arc is 8, I believe. No, it's 9 actually. Yeah, it's 9. So yeah, phenomenal season. I loved this. I always end up loving Oshinoko, but yeah, it's just a joy to see it get animated. And I'm so glad that Season 3 was announced like immediately after Season 2. We pretty much have been confirmed at this point that we're getting a full adaptation, which is so nice to see.
Defo. Like, I need to watch this. I can't believe I didn't. But like at the same time, I'm happy. I wanted to see the stuff I hadn't seen because I've read the manga.
Yeah. Yeah, you can save this for later, but it's definitely something you should get to. And then before we talk about the last one where you've seen the source material that I've watched the anime, we're going to talk about funny brain rot anime.
Oh no. Oh my god.
Shika noko noko koshtan. That was cringe, I'm sorry.
I was wondering why he stayed silent for a bit. I was like, do I say something?
Oh man, the Shikanoko noko koshtan. That shit makes me fucking hard as fuck, man. Man, I'm fucking coming.
Oh my god.
I won't lie, I unironically really love the OP. The OP fucking slaps.
The OP is like a really shit song, but like a really funny OP.
I actually like the song too, because
that's not good.
I like the main reason why is because I just love how much fun the voice actors are clearly having with it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Like some of the exaggerated line delivery in the song is fucking hilarious. Like they went so the seiyus went so hard for it.
Why
the anime
someone
itself.
sent me a playlist. Someone sent me a playlist called Evil Playlist, and it's just 500 songs of Nokutan OP. Why?
Holy shit. So when Nokutan was being announced, everyone was like, "Oh, is this gonna be like the modern Nichijou?" Everyone loves Nichijou, right? Nichijou is a hugely popular series. I think Nichijou is bad. That's the hottest take in this video. Nichijou is fucking boring. I can't lie.
I'll be real, I've never seen this before.
Yeah. So, because like everyone touts Nichijou as an amazing comedy series, because and like don't get me wrong, from an animation perspective, it looks fucking gorgeous. I mean, duh, it's KyoAni. But I find, I don't know, the comedy is very, it's funny because it's random and stupid, which is just not really my sense of humor. Like my sense of humor is like a lot more character based and low key. Like my favorite KyoAni comedy is Lucky Star, because even though its animation is nowhere near as good as Nichijou's, its sense of humor is built upon like character interactions, which Nichijou kind of is. But Nichijou is also built up of like just how ridiculous the animation looks, right?
Yeah. Which
I get why people are making the comparisons between Nichijou and Nokutan, because Nokutan is very is just inherently ridiculous. I prefer Nokutan over Nichijou, which is an opinion that I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who has that opinion. But the reason why is because I find that because there's like an active premise to it, you know. Nichijou is just kind of gag humor with no plot, like actually genuinely literally no plot for like 25 episodes. It drags on for like the second half. I actually liked Nichijou for like the first half, but for the second half I'm like, why is this 25 episodes? This is too fucking long. Nokutan is a very comfortable 12 episodes, and with so, but like the general premise of Nokutan works for just like comedy, because Nokutan is like this omnipotent deer god being who can shape and bend humanity at her will at the snap of a finger, and everyone treats her as a completely normal thing. And but the funniest thing too is that I think the circumstances around Nokutan are funnier than Nokutan itself. Because the deer invasion of Nara Park in Japan is fucking hilarious to me. And Nokutan kind of plays off of that. Okay, it does play off of that a lot. But I don't really think it compares quite to the real life version of it. Nokutan's comedy is pretty decent for a few episodes, but it really falls off in the second half. I was still able to be relatively engaged due to the fact that I'm wondering what the fuck are they gonna do with this next, even if it's not particularly funny. It is like, it does make me curious what they do with it. Ultimately, though, I was pretty disappointed by this one. F-Dog's gonna hate me for this, but this is a C tier to me. It's better than Suicide Squad Isekai. I did have moments where I was laughing, enjoying the characters, but yeah, Nokutan was disappointing.
That, like, imagine if someone told you that, like, before the season started, that Nokutan was gonna be better than Suicide Squad Isekai.
Yeah, that. I would have. What would I have done? I'd probably laugh at them and tell them they're wrong.
Drop kick a child in revenge. Maybe not that. Okay.
Oh yeah, another funny thing about Suicide Squad Isekai. So in Suicide Squad, characters are supposed to die, right? Yeah. There were no deaths in the main cast in Suicide Squad Isekai, despite the fact that it was written by a guy who lets his main character die in every episode.
Wait. Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Didn't have. Okay. No, I'm not gonna say anything. I refuse
Like,
to
the stakes would
elaborate.
have been risen so much if they just fucking killed one of their boring ass. Like, just kill King Shark. No one cares about him. He fucking does jack shit. Raise some stakes by killing him, goddammit. But they didn't fucking do it. They didn't fucking do it. But for what? What the fuck was he? He had nothing to do with the plot. He was doing jack shit. Just fucking kill him. I realize how wrong this sounds in a different context.
Okay then.
But yeah, Alia-san is next.
Okay, wait. One thing I actually want to put like a little asterisk before we finish. One, forgot about Slime Season 2.
Oh yeah,
That's
right.
bad. I did watch that. Top row.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
There it is.
There you go.
I forgot that.
Yeah, put it in like bottom of beta.
All right.
Slime is like okay. Here's the thing. The anime start. I'll bring back to season 1. The anime started as like isekai type thing, but like not actually that bad. It's turned into political stuff. Like he runs a country and shit, and he does politics with like other countries. Personally, I like it because I find that shit interesting because I am stupid. But this season was like heavy politics. Like there was a little bit. There was not much fighting, which I don't mind. But this season very much felt like a setup to next season where stuff will happen. But at the end of the day, I can't put this above B tier because it's just kind of easy. Its story isn't great by any means. The characters don't really develop. It's an isekai. It's not gonna... Like, people call this like one of the best isekai of all time. It's not. It's kind of just not... It's just not bad isekai. It's just average. Which is something I've realized over... while I was watching this, is I probably held it in higher regard than I should have before.
Because you watched too many isekai.
Yeah, and yeah, it was okay. It wasn't like the best. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot to watch the last 2 episodes. About 40 minutes before we started recording, I had to watch the last 2 episodes because I kind of forgot that I didn't finish it. It was like okay.
Yeah, I forgot it was even airing this season. I can't lie.
Yeah, it was a 2 core. And asterisk number 2, I watched Tower of God season 1, but I didn't watch season 2 intentionally because I'ma be completely real. Season 1 was dog shit. The ending of season 1 was dog shit. And then I thought, what will they do next? So I read the manhwa. If you put season 1 manhwa and season 2 manhwa next to each other, I would be heavily convinced that they're not the same show because everything is way too different. It's fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Like, everything, it's not the same show. It's like, obviously the setting is the same, but that's it. All the entire premise of this thing feels so different. Everything that we kind of thought we knew about the show, we didn't. It's one of those shows where like you make it to the end of season 1, oh my god, there's an entire world that we didn't know about. Which was stupid for me because the series was stupid in the first place.
Yeah, isekai in general can be pretty stupid.
It wasn't an isekai. That was the thing. It was just bad.
If something's bad, I just assume it's an isekai.
It's not. It's just bad. Yeah, I didn't watch that on purpose. I'm not even gonna rank it because I didn't even watch a single episode of season 2.
Anyway, Alia-san.
Yeah.
My expectations coming into this, I thought it was gonna be very mid. Because it sounds the title makes it sound very gimmicky, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, it's gonna be like one of those slow-paced rom-coms that relies on this one gimmick to set itself apart from all the other slow-paced rom-coms that rely on a gimmick to set themselves apart from each other. Or like there's gonna be no progress, but oh no, the main character's gonna hold hands in chapter 200. Holy shit, what character development! I am fucking coming right now. The mic peaked so fucking hard when I was doing that. Harder than I am when he fucking holds the girl's hand in chapter 2 fucking billion.
Sounds like a certain Kobe sound that I know. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Ignore that. Go. Stop talking.
Yeah. We can't let the commenters fucking crucify us. Did you know that Free Run is an A-tier series?
Free Run is overrated.
All right, now that we have that over with, we can now move on to.
Let's actually talk about the anime that we were meant to talk about.
I was expecting Alya-san to be mid. That's what I'm saying. Alright, I watched the first episode. I was like, wow, this character dynamic is actually really fun. Because Kuze has a snark to him, right? He's not some fucking passive pussy boy. He's not eating dick every Tuesday.
He's not on his knees for the school princess type thing. Like it's not stupid.
Like he's actually got some. He's actually a fun character to follow as a protagonist. And then so I was like, in episode 1 I was impressed, and then more and more episodes start coming, and I'm like, wow, they're focusing less on the stupid gimmick, and don't get me wrong, the gimmick is fun, right? It's fun. But it would only be fun for like 6 episodes. So after like the first 6 episodes, they realize that, and they move into like a student council plot. A lot of people on the Mal forums are talking about how, oh, the show was so good, and now it kind of turned into something different. And it was like, no, they built up to this really naturally. And really gradually.
I mean, I didn't watch all the. I think I watched like 5 episodes, but I read the light novel. I read like 3 volumes. I think it was 3. I think I read 3 volumes.
Yeah, so you read up, I believe,
and then forgot about the show. But yeah, so good. I didn't see it as sudden at all. I don't know. They might be silly, or maybe just they didn't expect anything intellectual to come from the show, but it kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, people. I ended up realizing, wow, romance and isekai fans are kind of content with just watching dog shit.
I'm telling you, they're all masochists.
Yeah. So like when something that sounds like it's gonna be trashy comes up and it's not that. Okay, I mean it kind of is. I mean, Yuki's entire character is kind of,
Hey, don't diss my girl.
Oh yeah, no, Yuki is the best character by far. I fucking love Yuki.
Okay, maybe not that, but okay.
I want to have. We'll not finish that sentence. But Yuki was fucking phenomenal. The fucking jokes with her were my favorites, and like I love how Yuki was written. Because she is the antagonist. Like she's the antagonist. Simply put. However, those.
Imagine him. Nah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Can we reflect on that one? Man said you have a romance anime where the sister is the antagonist. Let that sink in. The sister.
No, I actually read
really funny.
I read a thread on Mal talking about how this would have been better as a siscon anime, and not gonna lie, I kind of agree.
What? We're having the entire Oshinoko debate now.
I mean, I've seen my fair share of gamer anime like Orino and Domestic Girlfriend. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if Alya-san turned into one of those. So yeah, but I really loved the way that they wrote Yuki, because like, despite being the antagonist, the moments that humanize her are the moments where she's being fucking goofy and saying, "Oh, did I make you hard, Nissan?"
Never say that again.
The sense of humor in the series is fucking unhinged, and I love it. Like, these are fucking ridiculous jokes. I love how it pushes those boundaries in a way that's able to be entertaining. And like, because like, let's be real, this shouldn't work. The type of ridiculous dialogue that Yuki spouts out, it shouldn't work, but it does. Somehow it does.
Let's be real. This is light novel summed up. It shouldn't work because it is a light novel summed up, and we all know light novels are always bad. But it like kind of works. For some reason, it just does, and honestly, I couldn't tell you why. It kind of just does.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the series. This is my...
Also, it looks beautiful.
Oh, of course. Doga Kobo has turned from a genuinely really underrated studio, in my opinion, to unquestionably one of the best anime studios out there.
Yeah. Oh my... Like, I remember I saw the first visual for this. Bro, I was shocked because they looked so good. And I was like, is the show actually going to look like this? It does.
Yeah, it does.
And yeah, it looks amazing. One thing that was kind of weird for me, because this was the first light novel adaptation of a light novel where I'd actually read the light novel before. And I was watching the first episode and I was like, things are different here. Like, this is not what happened. And like, I'm not gonna say it was objectively bad because it turned out fine, but it kind of irks me a little bit because there were things like, I'm trying to remember completely. All I remember, they kind of slept on Masachika. They slept on him. Like, there were moments that he was meant to have, he did not have in the anime. Like, there were things that he was meant to do that were delegated to other characters. And I was like, come on, man, they're doing my boy dirty. But honestly, it's just a small nitpick that doesn't really say this series is bad now. It's fine. It's not.
It saved itself at the end anyway, because like we ended up learning by the end of the series, holy fuck, this dude is like way fucking smarter and more of a badass than he was making himself out to be.
Yeah, because there were small things. Like, I'm trying to remember, he gets her, what was it? Oh, one thing that annoyed me, I don't think they animated the dance that they had, did they? That's what annoyed me, because they drew it in the manga that I read, but they didn't animate it, which was kind of annoying. But it's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's still great. Bro.
I can't quite remember if they did that, so they probably didn't. It's in the OP though. Don't worry, it's in the OP.
True.
Also,
I also always love it when they get the characters to sing the OPs and EDs.
Oh, for sure.
And the fact that it had a different one for every single episode was pretty based. I mean, I actually need to listen to all of them. I've only listened to the OP and like Kawaii Kute Gomen because that song's banger anyway.
Because like a lot of anime do like the different ED for different episode song. Like I'm watching like Takagi-san for my Japanese immersion, and they'll have Rie Takahashi, the VA for Takagi, sing for a new song every episode. But the visuals are the same. With Alya-san, they went out of their way to create new visuals for every ED, which I think was great.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, amazing adaptation. I love the story that they're telling. This is my second favorite anime this season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like, I really liked it, surprisingly.
Honestly, I'm really shocked because like, I know your opinions on most like romance anime. So this one being like the second best, fair enough. It's a good show.
Yeah, I was not at all expecting to enjoy the series as much as I did. But like, the story is good, the characters are fun, the comedy is fucking incredible. Like, it just works, ticks all the boxes. Not only that, but it looks fucking gorgeous too.
Yeah, we're getting a season 2, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was not expecting for us to get a season 2, since I mean that's the thing. Doga Kobo used to have a reputation of never making season 2s unless it's like for popular stuff like New Game. I'm still waiting on Senko-san season 2. God damn it. Because like again though, I think that Doga Kobo was an underrated studio. Like Senko-san got a really good adaptation. New Game got a really good adaptation. People were sleeping on Doga Kobo for the longest time. I'm so glad with just how good Oshinoko and Alya-san have been that people are finally recognizing Doga Kobo as being as good of a studio as they are.
Also,
so yeah,
one thing I want to mention, the pen name for the author of Alya-san is Sun.
It's fucking incredible. I love that.
Exactly. Anyway.
I guess we can. I have a Patreon, guys. You can give me money if you feel like giving me money. I have 3 tiers with differing benefits depending on what you end up doing. The one that's most important for this channel is being able to suggest videos for the uncut channel. There's also more stuff like the Discord server, Patreon roll call, and whatnot. And then on another note, I'm sorry I spent almost a month since I've uploaded here. You'll have stints like that with this channel, right?
You that shit YouTuber! Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not, because I don't view myself as like really a YouTuber. Honestly, I'm just kind of a normal guy. So I upload when I feel like it, and I haven't really felt like it the last month. Don't worry, it's not anything super bad mental health wise. I'm doing fine. But yeah, it's just been like a lack of motivation, not really feeling like it, which is fine for a channel like this, where realistically speaking, I'm not doing anything particularly productive anyway. Anyway, I want to give a big fat slimy thank you to my patrons, such as my Phantom tier patrons, Mystic Cowell, Jesse, and Squizzy, and my Confidant tier patrons, Regimania, Plasma, Eternum, and Ghoul. Thank you all very much for your continued support with these videos, and I'm glad we were able to go over this season and everything it had to offer. I really love making these videos. So yeah, I'll see you gamers next time. Bye.